Bit of a shorter video for you guys today, but the most recent word about the potentially soon to release Dark Energy update is an exciting look at something I've personally been looking forward to seeing more of ever since I got into the lore of this game, as well as a tidbit of more info on our new favorite alien artifact, the Lodestone. In a new YouTube short released by Deepfield, we get the official Murman subject registration for Lodestones, IS-092, where it is given the Anchor assessment. I'm not completely sure how Gate got their hands on a complete Lodestone, since it was still with Lenora prior to our scientists literally shattering it, but anyways, basically the Lodestone acts sort of like a biomechanical perforation magnet, being able to attract and tether together perforations. Its designated Anteverse of origin is theorized to be Anteverse 33, with its next door IS registration being IS-091, the Layak, an entity native to the Anteverse. The flavor text when hovering over the wood mass stating, "You receive more favorable trades with Anteverse 33, and in my opinion the most exciting part of the video, the short flashes of what seems to be a fleshy dark cave spliced throughout the registry video, basically all but confirmed the flesh dimension or Anteverse 33 is the origin Anteverse of the Lodestone, and possibly the introduction of a future Anteverse 33 portal world. The written and confirmed properties of the Lodestone and the Anteverse 33 origin paints a pretty good picture about Canaan at this point, and presents the Order in an even worse light. The introduction of the Lodestone to Anteverse 168 and the Canaanite people by the Inquisitor basically doomed them under Nikitas' rule and brainwashing, allowing corruption from Anteverse 33 to take hold in Canaan like the Hexwood trees and possibly the Bogmen, all while slowly pushing the Canaan cult towards the ultimate sacrifice to Petri by opening a perforation to Anteverse 33 and giving up their flesh, which they almost succeeded in by using Gate's portal technology in tandem with the Lodestone's conduit properties, before Riggs steals the Lodestone and our scientists smash it for good. Also, hypocrisy amongst the Order comes into question with the confirmation of the Lodestone and their connection to Anteverse 33. As we know, the Order has had at the very least 16 Lodestones in their possession. It's unclear what they did with these Lodestones. Perhaps they destroyed them or contained their perforation conduit properties somehow, but the wording in the email we find addressing the Canaan Lodestone obviously points to at the very least the Order's stockpiling of Lodestones. And it's not like they're ignorant to the Lodestone's properties and origins either. They very clearly express their angst at Gate discovering the origins of the Lodestones and the underlying tethering powers. The connection between the Lodestones and their Petri god is undeniable, as seen with Canaan as well. So this would show blatant hypocrisy in the Order's core ideals. I mean, they blew up Gate's whole fiesta and probably killed dozens of scientists over what they believe is evil devil work, but their god could possibly reside in a flesh dimension world where trans-dimensional entities are common spawn. Totally not hypocritical, am I right? But anyways, moving on to the meat and bone of the Lodestone storyline, no pun intended, is the first glimpse of Anteverse 33. From what we can gather from the quick flashes throughout the video, the first scene shows a red flesh-like mass with tentacle-like appendages around it. The tentacles, specifically the ones on the lower half of the mass, look similar to the ones we see on IS-091, so perhaps this mysterious figure is a different, stronger version of the Layak native to the flesh dimension, or maybe some kind of map prop like a statue or natural formation similar to the Layak. Or maybe it's a completely different creature we have yet to see any imagery of, and we're in for a nice surprise. The second flash shows us a broader image of a fleshy dark cave or corner, with perhaps the same mass from before, now on the side of the shot with two white pillars detailed with distinct bright white dots. The third flash shows us two identical pillars, but now we can see a boulder or rock on the fleshy floor that looks incredibly similar to a Lodestone fragment, with the same strange exterior and fleshy interior, further pushing the Lodestone and Anteverse 33 theory. The fourth and final flashes show a pillar much closer to the camera, where we can now see the texture up close. Every pillar seems to be constructed of the same material we see on the Lodestone exterior, but in a more pale white color and more uneven surface. So perhaps these are unfinished Lodestones, or part of some kind of larger organism or biomechanical structure we have yet to get more information on. Now obviously this part is completely speculation, but I'd like to throw my 2 cents and theories in for Anteverse 33. First, I personally think the corruption in Canaan is basically all rooted from the Lodestone and its perforation attraction capabilities. Maybe the anomalous entities like the Hexwood trees and Bogmen aren't explicitly native to Anteverse 33, but its malignant origin attracted these entities through random perforation events from foreign antiverses, like the ones we experienced in the Cascade facility. Excluding all the portal reset time loop shenanigans, it'd be safe to assume Riggs and the Canaan storyline itself is probably finished after our scientists killed Nikitas and broke up the Lodestone. But the Lodestone is probably still on the table. With the upcoming introduction of the origin antiverse of I-092, it's entirely possible we get a canon introduction to a second source of Lodestone, so maybe we will use a complete Lodestone narratively in our escape from the Cascade facility, or use it in some kind of perforation technology in a different facility in the future, as sort of a stand-in for the now missing Dark Lens, since both objects work sort of similarly to each other. So about the flesh dimension itself, there's a lot of interesting stuff Deep Field can do with it. An interesting vision I personally had for it was perhaps Anteverse 33 is some kind of living organism, or a massive biomechanical organism with its own kind of consciousness or basic decision making. Maybe it's something similar to the Puppeteer, creating symphonous life, but instead of creating individual life forms, the flesh dimension creates dangerous flesh entities like the Layak, and fleshy perforation attracting lodestones to spread its influence through corruptive entities and voices like Nikitas writes on his diaries. As for the gameplay for a possible portal world, I hope the general size isn't as small as some of the other portal worlds we have, and hopefully it carries some kind of creepy atmosphere and gameplay mechanic with it, like more than one Layak spawn or a new Layak species with a twist sprinkled throughout a dark fleshy cave where an X-ray lamp would be basically necessary to get by. It would be an awesome addition to the gameplay loop and be a good change of pace for the portal worlds in general. And also, I'm not sure what kind of merchant or roaming trader would be native to the flesh dimension, since the Hexwood mask is alluding to it, so I'm very excited for that aspect of the game in general. If our first look at NPC trading outside of the Cascade facility is introduced through the use of Anteverse 33, that'd be pretty cool. So that's basically it. That's my YouTube short, really gets my hopes up for the upcoming updates and any other sneak peeks. I'm not entirely sure what picture on the roadmap could probably allude to the possible release of Flesh Dimension. Maybe Homeworlds will give us the origin of many of the Immerment registries, I don't know. But I want to know your theories and opinions about Anteverse 33 or any other upcoming updates. So, I've been Myriad, your non-fleshy yapper, and have a good day or night. Bye bye. Yo, can you stop? I'm recording.